of the Steve Blame Show. My guest tonight once said that he used to be the biggest handbag thief in London. Fortunately, since those days, he's become a worldwide household name and there's no need to steal them. He can afford to buy any handbag he desires. He's loved everywhere for his music, his charm and his honesty. Welcome, Boy George.
I'm going to punch you next time. Hi, how are you?
I once read this quote about you which said, and I quote, that people think that I'm a camp fool, that I have nothing to say, but I found that really strange because I personally think you've got a lot to say and a lot of people think you have a lot to say. So I wondered why you said it.
Well, it's more to do with sort of press people, I suppose, the media, you know, they kind of have a sort of set idea. I just went out this morning with this, like, Dutch film crew, and, you know, it's like they say similar things and then they ask you all the questions that everybody else asks you, so it's like really kind of like a never-ending circle in a way. But, you know, I say a lot of things I don't mean.
Well, we might be...
I know I'm brilliant.
We might be continuing that circle now, of course. Let me take you back to when you were in Woolwich and there were the big lights, the big city. What was your first Clubland venture?
The first club I ever went to in the West End was the Lyceum. I remember, I'll tell you, it's a good story actually, because I remember I used to have this girlfriend called Laura, who's actually in a mental home now. She had a breakdown. Nothing to do with me, but she took me to the Lyceum and we went there and we were wearing all these clothes with like holes in. And we were apparently too punky to get in. So we were standing in the queue like really trying to get in, hoping they might change their minds. And this sort of really effeminate voice from behind said, "Why don't you come with us to Bangs?" So I got taken off to this club called Bangs, which has now reopened, which was the sort of biggest kind of gay club in London. I remember me and my girlfriend, and that's where I met the hideous Philip Salon.
And that's when he was in a velvet outfit with horns, wasn't he?
He was wearing a velvet skirt, and he'd kind of cut this huge piece of black cardboard out and made a sort of very unique guy. Made this tunic out of it, and he had black lips. And I remember at the time my girlfriend Laura used to wear black lipstick, and I saw this guy dancing on this sort of podium, and I just wanted to be friends with him. I knew that, you know, I just thought, well, coming from Woolwich, you know, it was like a big thing seeing Philip Salon, so I said, go and talk to him. And she said, no, what will I say? I said, ask if you can borrow his lipstick. And that was it, that sealed the relationship.
It's funny in a way, because when you really made it, people were shocked at your appearance. So were you shocked when you saw people like Philip Salon dressed up?
It wasn't really a shock. It was like, I want to know them. It was like, you know, because I remember like when I was like really, really young, I remember one day my brother gave me some money to get some pictures developed, and I took the bus to Beckenham and I sat outside David Bowie's house, and I remember meeting all these really great people. And I think, you know, that's why in a lot of ways I can relate to the kids that sit outside my house, because they're not entirely there for you. You know, it's like a social life. I remember when I was like really young, it was like I met other people that were like me, at least that I thought were like me. So I mean, it was like an adventure. So I mean, when I saw Philip and people like him, I thought, wow, you know, gotta hang out with these people, you know, just because I thought they'd have good places to go to.
But did you have a competition with Philip Salon and Marilyn to get the most attention, to be the most extreme in sort of what you were wearing and stuff?
Not really. I remember, you know, Marilyn's whole thing was to kind of like lay everything that walked, you know. Mine was, it was sort of more of a like, you know, it was, I don't know, I think he had a lot of problems, you know. And I think his whole thing was like, you know, get off with every builder. That would, like, you know,
you had more taste than that, of course.
Well, I've always kind of been more into like, you know, I don't know really. I like talking to people. I like making friends. I think that's always been one of my things. I've always wanted to like have loads of friends. I've got quite a few.
When did you decide to sort of take that club scene and develop it into a career in wider terms?
Well, I mean, coming from Woolwich, you know, I remember when I used to live in Woolwich, sort of before the punk thing really took off, we always used to go to this place called the Black Prince, and we were called the Arnolds. We used to wear like, I remember I used to wear like Tesco bags. Like I used to cut them into vests. I used to make bin liner trousers. I mean, and in those days, you know, no one ever used to sort of pick on you because they just thought you were going to fancy dress. But when I went to the West End, I just sort of, I mean, I was like 16, 17, and I was like pretending to be 21 so I could get into visitors. The best one there was like the Global Village. I just used to like going there because you just met different people, you know.
Did Woolwich suddenly become excruciatingly boring?
Well, it was always pretty boring, you know. It was, you know, apart from there was only one disco every kind of like 2 weeks, which was the Black Prince, where you could actually go and listen to good music. So going to the West End where it was like clubs every night. I remember Philip took me to this club called Madame Louise's, where all the Sex Pistols used to go, and like, you know, Susie Banshee, and I remember it was I just thought it was wonderful.
Did you used to check the hats there, didn't you?
No, not at Madame Louise's. I used to check the hats I used to check the coats at the Blitz. And I used to be the coat person at Hell as well.
So when did you first meet McLaren?
When did I first meet him? Well, I was very friendly with Matthew Ashman. Matthew was actually the one that got me in the band and wanted me in the band. Malcolm always thought I was a bit effeminate. And I remember what happened was that I was very friendly with Matthew through Philip, actually. And I always wanted to sing. And Matthew said, why don't you come and have an audition, because we're going to throw Annabella out. So I went along to this audition. And Matthew really liked me, but the other two guys, I think Lee and I can't remember, they were really ignorant pigs. I mean, they were vile. And now they've disappeared, so I guess they got their just dessert. But they hated me, and I did like 2 gigs with them. I did this gig in Manchester, and I remember a really funny story. When I played at the Rainbow, my debut concert, Vivienne Westwood came with this bag of clothes, pirate clothes. And in those days, I was really into my own look. You know, I remember I had this like black Victorian dress on and this big hat. And Vivienne said, "You've got to wear these pirate clothes, anarchy, sex, punk." And I said, I don't want to wear them, because I'd found out that everything you got from the shop, even if you were in the band, you had to pay for. And they deducted them out of your wages. And Malcolm only paid me £40 a week, so I wouldn't put them on, but I still got to go on the stage.
And at least you made some money in the future. Well, we'll be talking a bit more in a minute, and we'll be asking you to paint in our gallery. So, well...